The longest season in FIA Formula 2 history is about to wrap up here at the Yas Island on Yas Marina's circuit. Welcome to Abu Dhabi for practice ahead of this evening's qualifying session. Well, this fantastic circuit has played host to many a championship battle for the first time in Formula 2. A championship with a 0.5 difference. 25, it's a 5.281 kilometre circuit, 23 laps for the race on for sprinting, 31 laps for the feature. Top speed at over 194 mile an hour, 16 turns, elevation change is high at 10 metres. Well, it's morning at the moment here, and we're getting ready to go into the evening. It's 7 AM in the UK, it's still dark out there, and it is middle of the afternoon over in Abu Dhabi. Bortoleto 188.5, Hadjar 188, just 0.5 between them. Paul Aron still in the title fight on 163 as well. Alongside me in the commentary box is Omi and Omi. We are in for a fabulous end to the championship. This is the greatest we've ever seen.
One of the best Formula 2 rounds ever in history about to come up this weekend. Really excited. You've got Bortoleto, you have got Hadjar, and to say how much we were hyping up Forte Vesti last year, that's basically the gap between Aaron and Bortoleto coming into this as well. So Aaron's also an outside contender with how wild F2 has been as we take a look at Isaac Hadjar. But yes, early in the morning here in the UK, but we've got Formula 2 practice, the only 45 minutes before a critical 30-minute session for these guys coming up to qualify later on.
And of course, the one benefit of both these sessions is that they both take part in daylight, because practice 2 for Formula 1 will be in the twilight conditions. The worst one is actually going to be F1 Academy. They've just had their free practice session. Now we come into their qualifying later on this evening after practice 2. So they've got the extreme end of the day. F2 sort of unusual for them. I mean, they're split between before practice 1 and after practice 1 for their day. So it works nicely for them. No sessions under the lights though for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course the F4 UAE Championship, that's also in support of F1 this weekend. Also, of course, playing around with their slots for their practice sessions as well. And F1 Academy, of course, getting an extra race due to the cancellation last time out, which is basically decrowned Dhabi pulling the champion as well. But all of that's gone on. In Formula 2 though, we've absolutely got a championship fight. Everyone comes back into the pit lane and is about to head back out into the fast lane. Paul Aaron, also newly signed, of course, Alpine reserve driver for 2025. And we also have to say at the same time, when mentioning Alpine, congratulations to Jack Doohan, who of course was Formula 2's winner around the circuit in the feature race 1 year ago on his promotion early to Formula 1.
Yep, Esteban Ocon will not be taking part. He's stepped aside in order for Alpine to allow him to do the post-season test on Monday with Haas. We will be broadcasting that test to you. Not sure exactly what form it's going to be in yet, so we might be a little bit late on air while we find out timings and etc. as to when we can run it, but we will be bringing you coverage of the post-season test as well, our last action of the year. But Bortoleto mainly still out there as well. Bortoleto, amazing sort of run he had on the road back in Qatar, but penalties got his way. It's kind of damaged the championship, hasn't it, as well? He had to drop to third, so just 0.5 of a gap.
Yeah, it really brought the championship back alive. But quickly, as we've, of course, congratulated the driver heading into Formula 1. Congratulations to F3 champion on arriving into Formula 2, Leonardo Fornaroli. Right in our picture at the moment, we've got 2 black liveried Rodin Motorsports cars now, and Leonardo Fornaroli still not backed by an academy, but with how he drove in F3 last year, not winning a race but still getting the title, and also of course competing in Formula 2 next year. I'm sure that will definitely change for him. But great to see Leonardo Fornaroli getting his chance. But yeah, last time out with the penalty for Gabriel Bortoleto, it brought the championship alive. It was either going to go two ways. We were either going to leave Qatar with 6.5 points or half a point. It was half a point, and that's just even better because that is closer and closer as we take a look at Kimi Antonelli in his final Formula 2 weekend, and same goes for his teammate Oliver Behrman.
Yeah, it was quite strange to say at the start of the year that Formula 1 started the season with exactly the same drivers as we ended 2023 with. And then we've had 4 extra drivers this season as well fall into the championship. As well, we've had Jack Doohan, Oliver Behrman, Franco Colapinto and Liam Lawson all come in. Now we've got Jack Doohan in the championship as well. It makes it up to 24. So it's nice for him to come in. Zane Maloney has departed the championship now as well. He's gone off to Lola Yacht. I'm going to have to get this right now. Lola Yamaha Apt, which is going to be really hard to say. So it's just basically the Lolas, which are off to Formula E. Their first race is in Sao Paulo this weekend. Myself and Edward Hunter and Jess Ball will be on the commentary for that this weekend. Jess will take you through practice 2 with the world feed, and then herself and Ed will take you through qualifying, and I'll be back for practice 1 and the race due to clashes with other championships. But we've got more than ever this year for Formula E. We are going to be bringing you the press conferences. So basically later on today, after practice 1, we'll be on here later and we will bring you the team's press conference and the drivers' press conference to you after the show. And then as well on race day on Sunday, we're going to be on here a lot later now actually. We're going to have a full hour's post-show for Formula E, as we'll have around about half an hour of myself and Ed talking, and then we'll hand over for the drivers' press conference after the race as well. So there's a lot to look forward to for Formula E this year, as we're now FIA accredited there. But in terms of Formula 2, with Zane Maloney now going, he has been replaced by, as Amy said, the Formula 3 champion, Leonardo Fornaroli, and he sets a time across that line of a 1:59.074. Very much, though, still in the we've got 15 minutes of track acclimatisation before the real laps begin. That's what these are designed for, Amy. Get out there, learn the circuit, and then you can start pushing properly at the 30-minute mark.
And if you're Fornaroli, start pushing immediately and getting on with it as well. These drivers do a lot in the sim, but nothing compared to what the real circuit is. And as we've done a lot of good lucks and everything so far today, also Taylor Barnard, best of luck to him as well, as he's competing. One of our drivers from this year, one of our winners from this year in Formula 2, from the Monaco sprint race. So he'll also be competing in Formula E. So we wish him the best of luck in that championship as more drivers go from Formula 2 to Formula E, seeing as there wasn't a path to Formula 1. And yeah, I think I am slightly disappointed about Taylor Barnard not being able to get a chance in Formula 1. I believe he was absolutely incredibly talented, but at least he's got a seat in Formula E, and hopefully he'll be able to prove himself there. And didn't he grab some points last year when he had an appearance in Formula E?
Yeah, Monaco got points, and in Berlin as well. Barnard is 100% the right choice for McLaren alongside Britain's Sam Bird, which means I believe the commentary box this weekend on BBC Radio 5 Live is Harry Benjamin alongside, I believe it's either Alice Powell or Jack Aitken. I'm not sure which one it is, but I know they are actually over there, I believe, because Jenny's been out as well trackside. Let's have a look at Leonardo Fornaroli then on his next push lap. And it's down to a 1:44.960. Joshua Durtskin's top at the moment. 1:39.314. Might be bettered by Iran. No, it's not. 1:40.024. So 7/10 the gap at the moment for Paul Iran. Who do you think is going to get the championship home? We've got 3 drivers in it as well. It's incredibly tight at the top. Isaac Hadjar could do it, but it doesn't really go well round here. Bortoleto has never been here, and Paul Iran is on a form, so it's kind of up in the air completely.
Yeah, it is absolutely completely up in the air as well. And I had to give my predictions earlier, so I'm gonna basically just try and repeat myself in terms of
Yeah.
what I said as well. But yeah, Paul Aaron outside chance. You need Bortoleto Hadjar to take each other out, which it's Formula 2, so that's possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, he needs that to happen. Hadjar, of course, earlier on in his career in 2022, he was brilliant all season. Then he started having errors at a critical point as well, which gave Victor Martins the championship. Brought drivers like Behrman into play, Maloney as well somehow into play as well in that crazy final, which ended in the pit lane that day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember those mistakes from him. So you have to kind of give it to Gabriel Bortoleto. While he, of course, didn't have really a great career before he arrived in Formula 2, pretty average career, I have to say. You wouldn't really know that he would be heading to Formula 1 at all in the next few years. He arrived into Formula 2, dominated that, arrived into Formula 2, also being a master of this category. And yeah, me and Alex Jakes were talking about all of the drivers and what stories it would be if any of them won. Hadjar going from stuff like league racing on F1 games to an F2 title. There would be some extraordinary stuff if drivers, whichever one wins, there's a lot behind it. And then, of course, we've discussed all year about Aaron not being backed by an academy. So it's all been wild, and whoever wins it, it's just going to be a fantastic storyline behind it.
Here's a man who wishes that Paul Aaron wasn't given the third driver role. He's feeling a bit ousted. Victor Martins, who's 8th in the standings and was expecting to become the third driver at Alpine for next season. Now it's been announced to be Paul Aaron. That actually comes into effect this weekend with Esteban Ocon. Yes, he is here in Abu Dhabi, but he is not in the third driver role. That's already been given to Paul Aaron ahead of next season. So even if we have dramas for Doohan or Gasly, Ocon can't drive, which is a question in itself. But it's nice that Paul Aaron's going to be in those meetings as of now, getting a head start on 25, and I think that's what Alpine wants to do. We'll talk about more. Well, actually, you're not going to be in practice one. Megan is, and that's what we're going to talk about. So we can talk about it with you here in practice for F2. It doesn't feel right that Alpine have just sort of said, well, you know, go away, basically.
Yeah.
They've done the posh push away and has told him to leave, and bye-bye Esteban Ocon. Very disheartening, I'd say.
What I'm worried about as well at the same time is if Doohan just has a bit of a poor race for his first time, they're just going to get rid of him before the start of next year. That is what I'm hearing as well. As with how that team runs, they're probably just going to get rid of him. The good thing is, Jack Doohan has always been quick. He arrived into Formula 2, so kind of like Fornaroli's arrived today. He arrived into Formula 2 a few years ago in 2021, I remember, qualified on the front row. He retired, however, on the opening lap with contact, but still, point still stands. He was quick out of the box on his Formula 2 debut at the circuit, so it does go well that he possibly could be doing well when he just arrived into Formula 1, and as I mentioned, he was also a winner here last year in Formula 2, so he's done really well around the circuit doing, so that's one thing he has in his favour.
However, there is one thing we've got to sort of bring up about all this, and that is the fact that I've just completely lost track of my thought as well, what we were saying. Yeah, with Jack Doohan, I don't see how it's fair bringing him in, because it's effectively destroyed Alpine's chance of 6th in the Constructors' Championship. They've effectively given it to Haas, because they are competitive Haas, and there's only a couple of points between them. And Gasly's not going to get that high on the race, so it's effectively doomed them before we've even started the weekend, because now they're racing effectively with one driver getting the points.
Yeah, absolutely. So, questionable, interesting decisions going on at Alpine as per usual. This is Paul Aaron, who was fighting over the car all the way through the third part of the lap as he comes then to the final corner. But yeah, typical stuff from Alpine, and it will also hurt, as we've already mentioned, for Victor Martins, who lots believe is one of the best drivers on this grid. He proved it last year, but of course cars this year haven't been able to show that. He was up there with he would be up there with the likes of Behrman, Antonelli, Bortoleto, all of these talents which are heading up to Formula 1, and Joshua Dirksen's made himself a talent, having finished 19th in Freca, not having any expectation other than basically doing what Niels Coulin did this year, but he is one of our race winners, Joshua Dirksen, as he comes over the line and goes quicker by 3/10.
Yeah, he's coming to his own, hasn't he, with AIX Racing. They have developed more and more, and we're expecting good things from him next season in 2025. Follow does a 1:41.881, goes 19th. Miney's only in 21st. There's a bit of smoke there coming from a couple of the cars coming down towards turn 5 at the hairpin. Coming into it as well, just double checking it is down at 5. Yep, and the long straight at 6 and 7. The resurfacing and reorganisation of this circuit a couple of years ago is interesting. Still don't think it's the best place to end the season, but you know, Abu Dhabi pays big bucks to end the season. Personally, I'd end it at Sao Paulo. That's just me though.
Yeah. But however, I would get F2 there as well to end the season in Sao Paulo as well, which would be quite a lot of fun. I'd love to have F2 in Sao Paulo. It would be one crazy way to end the season. Even F1 always delivers. The Formula 2 would probably go wild as well. But Paul Aaron, here we go then with the high-tech man, and yeah, he barely had any sponsors on that car at the start of this year. So that's expanded a lot.
Yeah. Stoker's on there as well. The Pulsate, of course, was part of the team.
Love that.
And, down it. I love the Accelerate that we have in British Touring Car Championship. Anything with an 8 in it, it just makes sense. It's brilliant marketing. The Pulsate, Accelerate. We talked about that last weekend actually. Milwaukee's now on the side of the car. Yeah, on the Coke, the engine cover. Yeah, it's not the engine cover, it's the Coke. Coming into it. Ron's middle sector now over the line down towards turn 9. He's up by a 10th as well. Of course, we're now below that 15-minute mark, so we can start pushing in terms of faster lap times. It's designed the first 15 minutes for acclimatisation. Certainly during the European season, it was introduced because of the traffic jams and nobody heading out there on the circuit. So sort of get an extra boost out to go out there as well. And no one's going to block here, but we have got Vishal and Aron investigated after the session for impeding. So that's for sure. We saw on board with Aron. Here he is now, across that line, and he goes second. He's 59 thousandths down to Joshua Dirksen's time of a 1:38.515. Bortoletto, middle sector is down, but it's good sector 1. Marty's got personal best sectors 1 and 2. Browning's up to 4th. And Bennett goes up into 9th position as well. And now Esterson goes 8th with Hadjar 9th.
Yep, let's see what Gabriel Bortoletto can do. Down in the middle sector, bit of a slide out of the final corner as he goes to 3rd. But Paul Aaron getting all of the time, including a F1 TV exclusive warm-up interview yesterday as well that he got. Pepe Marti has gone up into 1st, and well, Campos wished that Marti was able to stay up there, but while Maney didn't really help Bortoletto and there was a lot of controversy. It was a brilliant Formula 2 race last time, but if you looked in the highlights video on YouTube on the F1 channel, it was filled. It was filled with all about Maney. It was all about Maney and how he didn't do any teamwork for Gabriel Bortoletto. That was getting all of the attention there. So Marty got out of Hadjar's way, so that wasn't an issue. But if Maney isn't really on Bortoletto's side, then that can be not ideal for Gabriel Bortoletto.
Hadjar nearly put it in the wall as well. Coming out of turn 14 into 16 now, the last corner across that line. Vishaw's gone 7th, Hadjar only 3rd, 1:38.565. Wonder how much that slide cost him. Dirksen still in 2nd. Top spot for Jose Marti. As Omi's been saying, 1:38.459. Miney goes into 11th with a 1:39.346. I had to double check that because it wouldn't flash up on the timing screen what it was, and then I had to look down at the timings page that you see alongside the commentary tab, which tells us who sets what. Right, this is Aron down to turn 1.
Cordial,
what's up?
Down to turn number 1, huge lockup for the high-tech driver as he just about made the first turn. And now we'll take a look at the Trident of Christian Mansell, number 23, also doing a lockup down to the first turn. It looks like he's got some green elements, kind of like Hauger had now on his front wing, to help us identify between the two Tridents without looking directly at the number, which is helpful.
there's an annoying thing that's now happened here at Yas Marina. We've had the blue exit curbs defining the track limits for the entire time they've been here since 2009, but this year they've now added in the abrasive stripes that you see at Port Ricard coming into it, the blue asphalt traps as well, and they're brighter this year, if anybody's noticed, and they're making my eyes hurt. Let's have a word quickly.
Slight chance for me. I am 25 points and 25.5 points behind the top two guys, so it has to go very right for me and very wrong for them for me to have a chance at the title. But it is what it is. You know, I can't control the past anymore. All I can do is try to end on a high. We won the race in Qatar. We've got our first win now, so yeah, this last weekend will be about enjoying what we have. I've really enjoyed the work with High Tech, and I want to make sure that I give them the best I can this last weekend.
I don't know what happened in that. Outboard side by side. But there's Polo saying he's got an outside chance. Marty and Durkin have come into the pit lane. That's why their numbers are in red. If you're watching along on the timing towers to come in, Polo on the first sector though only was a 20.336, and he seems calm about what he's got to do this year. He's done what he needed to in terms of get the Alpine reserve role, get back in with the manufacturer, and it's linked up with Mercedes, and of course his former team principal, Ollie Oakes, is now team principal there, so it's all sort of worked well. He's looked into it, but he's deserved it as well.
And while with his Alpine duties, Ollie Oakes has helped High Tech where he can, all the way through as well. And Paul Aaron now is basically involved in Alpine, as Aaron now goes to the top. Bortoleto and Martin still yet to come over the line as well. Let's see what Gabriel Bortoleto can do, but it's great to see that it's looking very close between our championship contenders, and what Bortoleto and Hadjar need is to be together on the circuit. What Aaron needs is to be at the front and have everyone else behind squabbling in the mid-pack. Bortoleto is in second, and we're going to see Martins come over the line. Then further back, we're also going to see Isaac Hadjar. Martins goes to the top. Let's see what Isaac Hadjar can do, and if he can get on terms with Gabriel Bortoleto. And all of these lap times, Hadjar's going quicker than Martins, but all of these lap times are going to be playing on the driver's head. Who is looking quick this weekend? And every lap that you can get one on your championship rival will give you a little confidence boost before we head into the 30 minutes of qualifying. But what is great to see is that last week, just the last few practice sessions, Hadjar wasn't looking on pace. Today, he looks on pace, and he needs it this weekend because he's a championship contender.
He does, and this is exactly where we need to have that sort of gumption. There's literally no time left to pray, there's no time left to plan. You've just got to hope you've done enough and go for it. So that's 8 thousandths off the Victor Martin's time for Isaac Hadjar. It's a 1:38.090. So quicker than Paulo on by 0.199 of a second, and for sure is third position as well. So it's starting to get a little bit more tense out here as well, as we ride on board with Gabriel Bortoleto, who of course will be going up to Sauber next year, which will become Audi in 2026. Lots of, it's looking good.
It is. And a great teammate to have, of course, next year in Nico Hulkenberg as well. He's basically nearly done everything but stood on the podium as Hulkenberg as well. But yeah, so he's going to have some driver to learn from next year, and I think it will be a really interesting combination. And of course I touched on it earlier, but it really didn't look like he was going to be an F1 driver. It just looked like one of those all-right drivers before he arrived into Formula 3. He showed absolutely nothing before he arrived into Formula 3. All of a sudden, he was a winner in the first two feature races. That's basically the first two Grand Prix of Formula 2, which he just ended up winning as well, and then just walked away with that championship, not under really any serious troubles. And this year, while it was a bit of a slow start for him, he just started performing very quickly, and he's now got himself up to the championship lead, with Hadjar starting to have some of those errors again. Of course, some stuff out of his hands, but stuff like running wide at Baku, falling out of the points at turn number 1, stuff like that. Definitely the blame does have to go to him. So similar stuff to what we saw in his 2022 final in Formula 3, which we also referenced earlier on, as we take a look at Shields, who, well, every rookie I think impressed last week, bar him. he just basically sat at the back, which has been the common theme in the last few rounds with the Car 25 of the AX, with Niels Coulin and now Shields. But Taylor Barnard was doing very well with it, as I mentioned, a winner with that machinery.
Martins is up by 0.07 of a second. Clan Shields just drifting in near the barrier, the exit of 14, 15 and 16 come up then in the last corner, flicks it in. They have removed that sausage curb this year, so the driver's able to run a little bit wider exit of 15, not getting caught on it and being thrown up in the air or destroying their floors. That's going to benefit the Formula 1 guys later on. Clan Shields stays 22nd. Here comes Victor Martins now over the line and goes first. 97,000 down on his own fastest time. Would have put him second fastest at that time, so it's still a consistency. Let's have a look then for Bortoletto as Bennett goes up into 15th because Crawford's gone 13th. Bortoletto goes top with a 1:38.046, the championship leader by half a point, looking good. And Isaac Hadjar is up by 67,000 in that middle sector. It's tit for tat.
Yeah, title rivals are already in practice. We're already seeing them start debate times. Hadjar's backed out of it this time around, so we're not gonna get that response by him. But unfortunately, I won't be here for qualifying later on. Yes. I am, however, back for the 2 races, so I'm leaving you on your own with maybe whoever else joins later on for the qualifying session. However, I will be back, of course, for the sprint and the feature race tomorrow on Sunday.
Right, let's have a word with Gabriel Bortoletto then and see what he makes of being in the championship fight and leading by half a point now. He spoke yesterday to F1 TV.
As a result of...
Well, we should be hearing from him shortly, but they haven't come through yet. I think Alex Brundle's still talking.
Yeah, I think they're just getting that ready with how much technical faults they've been having. We usually get them very early in the session. We actually had them kind of spread out, so they really tried to have them sorted and fixed. And we couldn't even get a proper background when Paul Aaron's one was happening. So I believe that one possibly might be cancelled or incredibly delayed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's going on with that.
Yes, I got the messages coming through. Oh, here it is now.
Amazing, because it makes everything a little bit more emotion for everyone. You know, it's nice for the public to see the fight that is going to be this week in Abu Dhabi. For sure it's going to be an insane one with you know, everyone fighting for this important moment in the championship. But yeah, super happy to be part of this title deciding moment.
Had to wait 2 minutes for that.
Did absolutely. But the fun thing about it is, you've got Bortoletto Hadjar trying to keep it clean. You've got Aaron with nothing to lose. He's going to go all in, as you would expect. You've got every other driver, including a lot of rookie drivers who've come in very lately in Formula 2, being maniacs, sending in dive bombs at every opportunity, trying to prove a point for next year. You've got drivers leaving, having their final ever Formula 2 races. They're trying to also end it on a high, so you've got basically everyone but Bortoletto and Hadjar taking it nice, taking it easy. And then when Bortoletto and Hadjar go side by side, they're also going to try and block each other and have a bit of a scrap as well. So you're going to have nearly everyone scrapping everywhere in this. Kimi Antonelli has the lap time deleted.
Drops him down to 10th position. That shuffled the order around slightly. And yellow... Well, okay. Let's have a look there, because Bortoletto is down into the braking zone for...
Don't be Bortoletto.
6 and 7. Red flag is out on the circuit. It's a yellow flag in the 3rd sector, and they have now suspended the session. And that's why one of the AAX drivers into the wall.
Might
And
be Shields.
yes, it is Clan Shields, and he's knocked off the front suspension as well on the right-hand side. I was looking to see Durskin was on an outlap and was nowhere near that last sector, so it is Clan Shields who's hit the barrier there, Omi, and he's whacked it, I think, just on the Tech Pro as well. So he's done the right thing, but it's destroyed the front end, and, well, not getting great for him, is it?
Well, terrible in Qatar. Absolutely, utterly terrible in Qatar, and, well, he's right now last. He's going to end this session in the barriers, so, yeah, it will be interesting to see how he's done that, but, yeah, I think with the championship being this close and someone hitting the wall there in feature race day, that would be quite something at the Latifi barrier.
Speaking of, congratulations to Max Verstappen and Kelly Piquet, who are expecting their first child together. Of course, it'll be Kelly's second child. Here's Clan Shields, Emmy.
Let's see, Latifi corner, loses it, straight into the wall, hard hit, and a repair job coming off for AIX. I'll let you continue with that then.
Yeah. Wow, that was... It's comical sound hearing actually in real time. Let's hear it again. Ah, okay, we weren't going to hear it, but yeah. Not the greatest, but yes, Kelly Piquet, of course, her second child after the first with, which is of course Penelope P, Lady P, they call her. And then of course now Max has clearly had enough of free practice and has decided to go straight in for the race.
Yeah, as I'm not in FP1 later, I'll give you a little bit of a insight into some of the stuff. So of course you have all of the FIA drama going on. Apparently someone was sacked yesterday, weren't they as well?
Yes, they were.
I saw. Yeah, so that's what's going on with that.
16 now, by the way.
Well,
key personnel
yeah.
left.
Yeah, unfortunately, well, that continues. You've got the Russell Verstappen drama going on, which is quite a lot of fun, which I'm sure you guys will touch into later on. But it looks like we're ending F1 with more storylines and more stuff for Drive to Survive to try and capture and try fit into 10 episodes, which, well, lots of people I think want more to that with just how much stuff has happened this year.
To be fair, I didn't watch last year's that much because I didn't find it very interesting. But I think I might watch this year's just because the amount of behind-the-scenes dramas we've had that we know about, but haven't heard much about, that Netflix sort of, they can't manipulate it this year. There's nothing for them to manipulate. The tracker's action's been that good, but I can't wait for them to dramatise Piastri and Lando's, Oscar and Lando's relationship, saying that, oh, look at that, he hates him, blah, blah, blah. He wouldn't do what he did in Qatar if that was the case. So, yeah. So, barrier needs a bit of repair work. 12:35 left on the clock. There's the podium, which is brand new, of course. Second year in use. Maybe this year I'll actually get to commentate on some of the action, because, of course, last year in Abu Dhabi, I was very much 50-50 with Formula One. I had to go and commentate on the MotoGP Championship season finale, so I wasn't able to do quite a lot of Abu Dhabi. I did the start, Megan did the middle, and I came back for the end of the race itself. But yes, I was not able to do most of that thanks to the stupid direct clash. Was not happy.
Yeah. That wasn't clever stuff last year. So that's what happened last year. But F2 with a title fight, luckily, for the second year in a row. This time even closer. Let's see if we get sound this time.
No.
Oh, we really want the sound. We really want the sound. They're not giving us
here
it
we go.
when we want it. There we go.
It's just the wing. It's the winglet flying across the circuit. It's so funny.
Oh my god.
Oh, clown.
Turn 14. Bang. And then the wing sliding, making that noise. And he's out of the car. And well, one thing is, I hope that we either see him having a major improvement over next year, or maybe someone else taking the seat going into next year with how he's performed. Every other rookie. Also, major shout out to Bennett last time, scoring 4 points, making the step up from GB3 to Formula 2 as well. So that was absolutely extraordinary. And also Dino Beganovic, can I just say, if we remember, around this time last week in practice, slightly later of course, but in practice we saw Dino Beganovic, his car of course, stopped on the circuit, and he only set 3 laps on the board, did Dino Beganovic, and somehow he managed to qualify in 4th. Then he was hit in the sprint, but managed to get redemption and score points in the feature. So with no practice last time, Dino Beganovic was absolutely extraordinary. Let's see what he can do with practice this time around, as he of course comes in and places Juan Manuel Correa, who is going to also be testing in Super Formula soon as well. So best of luck to him, but still absolutely extraordinary that Correa was able to return to this championship he was able to achieve his dream of getting podiums. It wasn't quite the win, but he got so close, and I'm sure he'll be very happy and will continue to pursue his motorsport career, hopefully in Super Formula, as we're going to get the session underway very shortly once again.
Yes, we are in around about 30 seconds time. Let's hear from Isaac Hadja.
Season that's coming to an end, and to be 0.5 behind is literally nothing, and we can be proud about that. So we're just gonna give our last final push, and I'm feeling really confident.
It's Isaac Hadja, effective championship co-leader, isn't he, by 0.5 of a point as the green light goes on. We are back underway for this session, and I think the problem is I nearly step on my microphone in, I can't step back. Hadja is possibly going up to Formula 1, but if he doesn't go to F1 and he becomes F2 champion, suddenly he's got to find a new drive to where it might not happen. But it looks very much likely that, despite what Sergio Perez's father might say, and doing a big expose on Monday, by Monday I don't think his son will have a drive. Checo is out at Red Bull. It's between Lawson and Tsunoda to go up there. I'd personally put Tsunoda in. So Hadja might be I think it's going to be AlphaTauri again next year, or is it just going to be Racing Bulls? He'll be a Racing Bulls driver next year.
Yeah, Isaac Hadja, that's what the rumour is, and quite a story from racing in leagues as well, on F1, on the F1 games and the F1 franchise, to the real thing, to the F2 championship as well. And it would be some story if he's able to get to also Formula 1 with that, which does seem likely, and it would be good to see a champion promoted up. But still sad about Felipe Drogos not getting his chance. Same with Teleport Chair. Both of them left sitting and waiting, and unfortunately it doesn't seem like they're going to get that chance for a while. Of course, we did have the extraordinary chance last year as well, with Felipe Drogovic possibly coming in and covering, but that didn't happen for the Formula 2 champion last year at Bahrain. It was when Lance Stroll wasn't feeling too well, so we didn't of course quite get that. Yeah, it would be nice to see what Felipe Dragovic can do in an F1 car. Here is Richard Vishaw, who of course was released into Antonelli's path in the pit lane last week, causing him to get a puncture and causing Antonelli to retire from the race. But it was the return, it was a great return, qualifying in the top 5 for Vishaw last week, followed by also a good result in the sprint. So it seems like this combination reignited definitely was working out last time, and well, they've got a long time together. They've got this week, and they've also got a full season, which has already been confirmed as well. And Ollie Goethe over the week also has been announced to be staying with MP Motorsport for next year.
Yeah, it's a good lineup at MP going forward. It's a strong one that I'm thinking could do very well next year. Second year it will be of these new generation Formula 2 car. That's always when we see a more competitive championship field, of course. Still the Mecha Chrome engines, which desperately need changing. But yeah, there is a little rumour about that they might change going forward. Of course, synthetic fuel in Formula 2, renewable. So that's already a step forward for Formula 1, which I think, when Formula 1 had taken that in, is it 25 or is it 26 that the renewable fuel comes in? I think it's 26, isn't it, with the sort of half and half until 28. So it's all sort of changes up itself.
Yeah, absolutely. We take a look at Dams. Some rumours that Beganovic could be going, well, could be staying at Dams or could be going to High Tech, which seems like the likely option as well. So we could have Beganovic at High Tech. We've got Esterson, who was also confirmed over the week at Trident for next year. You've got Mansell heading to Rodin Motorsports. So that's also going on. Rumours going on about him and Alex Dunn. And then, of course, you've got Arvid Lindblad with Campos as well, one of our contenders in Formula 3. And yeah, talking about Alex, then I just got reminded of Sophia Flash and all of her stuff on social media. But yeah, I want to mainly touch on another thing I noticed. As Bogdanovic comes over the line and he'll not improve his time in 9th. It also seems like she was actually kind of violating Alex Dunn as well, saying stuff like, so someone said, well, Dunn's doing this, and then she replied with, well, it's not hard in a high-tech, and it would be easy if I had a fast car. So I found that quite interesting as well from, I believe it was September.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, can I just say, with whatever car you have, if you performed well, you would get an opportunity. Just look at your teammates. So, for example, Noah Leon and Sophia Flörsch. Both of Van Amersfoort. Noah Leon contended for wins this year, contended for podiums, and Noah Leon's got himself a Prima, which probably will be a championship contending car next year, and he might be a championship contending driver with it. So, if Sophia Flörsch was able to perform, then she might have been in there. So it's quite interesting to see what she was saying to Alex Dunn, who has been a star coming into these next few categories, and it's been incredible to see. But Sophia Flörsch just taking every opportunity to try and talk about other drivers and trying to claim basically that if she had that car, she would be winning every race.
Yeah, Sophia Flörsch really has become the new Carmen Jorda, hasn't she, as well? And, a negative view on women in motorsport are those two women. I much prefer to always boost Ruth Buscombe, Bernie Collins, alongside as well Laura Winter, Jenny Gow especially, of course, after everything she's gone through, Jamie Chadwick, Alice Powell, Abby Pulling, women who have been successful in motorsports in a variety of careers, not Sophia Flörsch, who is the shouty pick-me, which I don't like, and they've got no place for that in motorsport, and I found her comments really distasteful reading those, and we had a conversation about it as well when you sent me. I was like, no, I put your money where your mouth is. Speaks a lot from a paid driver who has to. She pays her way in to race, and I cheered when she got points, but in the last year and a half, since she sort of dipped off in form in Formula 3, let's not forget as well, she's getting a bit too old for Formula 3. She should have ideally stepped up to Formula 2 if she was good enough. So it's sort of becoming, I'm ending my career, it's visible I'm ending my career in a single-seater, and now I'm just bitter. And I don't like that. It's the Danica Patrick, I like to call it. They shout at everybody.
She's still trying her best to pay into an F2 seat for next year as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I don't think she's doing F3, but she is trying to pay her way into an F2 seat, which would be absolutely undeserved as well. I'd like to see someone like Abby Pulling actually get that chance rather than her, obviously.
Jamie Chadwick for one.
Yeah, even Jamie Chadwick, of course, who I believe there was some news on her, wasn't it?
Yeah,
about racing in a category.
She's joined the European Le Mans series with Genesis Motorsport.
Yes. So great to see her continuing to progress, of course, after absolutely dominating the W Series scene as well. But we are getting closer, and I think there is a good way forward as well. If Abby Pulling next year can get it right in GB3, she might get a chance for a Formula E seat the following year. We've seen lots of drivers make their way from GB3 up to Formula 3, so that might be a pathway for the drivers as well. Some also, even when not getting paid a seat, have also joined the Formula Regional Championship. If they can perform there, F3 also can await. As let's see the laps over the line. This is where they're properly pushing now. Bortoleto can improve. Miata to 5th. You've got Aaron and Dirksen both pushing on. Fastest first sector belongs to Isaac Hadjar.
Yeah, this is looking very good now as well in the last minute of this session. Behrman 13th on a 1:38.685. Dirksen was fast in that middle sector. Aron was fast sector 1 as well. That's now changed. Isaac Hadjar has it. Antonelli goes 7th. Here comes Dirksen across the line and 4th fastest, 1:38.244. Hadjar 20.2 first sector is very good. Aron got slowed down in the middle, but he's put it, interesting enough, has set those mediums on as he comes through. They look a bit new over the line and up to 4th. 1:38.174 only. Look at Hadjar's time. Slow in the middle sector, but still up with Bortoleto by 2 tenths.
Isaac Hadjar is pushing. A few rounds of poor form. Could it be ended with a season high? As we have the checkered flag out right now as well. Let's see what Isaac Hadjar can do. And he would want to probably go into Formula 1 with the F2 title, seeing what happened 2 years ago in Formula 3. He would want to get redemption and get the title in Formula 2, correcting his mistakes from 2 years ago. Let's see whether he can go fastest of all in practice.
Over the line, yes! 137.817, 2 tenths quicker than Bortoletto, and that is a statement and a half going into qualifying in a couple of hours' time. Beat that, Bortoletto.
Yep, absolutely. Task is set. Work is needed for the Invicta team, as for lots of drivers, their final ever Formula 2 practice session as well. So every session now is going to matter. You've got qualifying coming up. You've got the sprint and the feature race, which is going to be a main edition on Grand Prix Sunday. Can't wait for that. Martins, not up in the first sector, improving them in the second, so let's see whether he can maybe disrupt Isaac Hadjar and just put his name up there. He's not in the championship fight, but just put his name up there for the championship rivals to consider this weekend.
Into the last corner then, over the line for Victor Martins. Stays third, doesn't improve on either time or position. It's a 138.808, not beating his time of 138.088. Lots of 8s and 0s in that one. Here's for sure then. Esterson's had a problem, but has continued. So a little spin for him. Vashaw got blocked, so that's going to bug him a lot. Stays in 7th. That's it.
No improvement for him. He'll end in 7th position. Good session for Rotoma Miata as well. F3 champion for Neroli. Ending in 20th. He'll be looking to take a step forward and continue to take a step forward as we head down into qualifying. But Isaac Hadjar, after lots of rounds where he didn't look quick in practice, and when he didn't look quick in practice, I think I could immediately infer from that it wasn't going to be an ideal weekend. I remember from early on in the season, from round 1 all the way up, if Hadjar was quick in practice, he was going to be quick in the weekend. That's always been the routine this season. The round that I could immediately see that he wasn't topping the times. I remember Monza as a perfect example. I was commenting that session with Megan. I mentioned that in that session as well, with how I didn't see Hadjar doing anything in that session, and I could already tell, okay, it's not going to be a good weekend for him. So that is just the way it runs, and it seems like Hadjar's on pace, so he is going to be in the fight, and this man definitely it has now Isaac Hadjar, who is reignited and is really fighting for this title.
Game on for F2 and points on offer for pole position as well. How many is it? 2?
2
points. That could be all the difference here. Bring her on into 23 range. Over the line then for practice starts. This is when
or someone random takes it, and none of the title contenders grab points over each other.
Martins takes it as well, and everyone goes, "Aw." The sprint race is going to be fun.
Yes, reverse grid as well. You've got the championship contenders, who, I mean, they can do what they want. They can qualify 1st and 2nd, but they are going to get reversed all the way down to 10th. They are going to be in the mid-pack. They're going to be up against some aggressive drivers who will be sending it at every corner, while the championship contenders try to keep it clean. Every driver will have in the back of their head that these drivers are having to think of the championship. You can grab some easy positions off them, but at the same time, you don't really want to hit the championship contenders at all, as that would not be a good way to end off your Formula 2 season, especially with how some of these drivers are heading to Formula 1. One of some of the championship contenders as well.
Let's have a listen to Paula One then, as he'll line up in 4th place on the grid. Let's take a listen to what he'll say on the start. Terrible. Terrible.
I mean, he's not been good at starts. I mean, he's taken pole 4 times this season. He lost it immediately, if you remember last time to Gabriel Bortoletto. Aaron's strong point is definitely not starts. That's something he needs to work on. He isn't racing in anything next year, I believe. He's just doing Alpine duties, but when he does get his F1 chance, that will be something that will hurt him. Race starts.
Must admit, he just spilled the wheels a lot there. The starts at the end of the practice session no tyre smoke. The starts at the actual sprint race feature race, it's tyre smoke galore, which always makes me laugh. I know they're cooler because they haven't done that much, but still, this is. Oh, hello. This is Victor Martins.
That's not your position.
Yeah, he crossed over the track to try and get a better position. Now, I don't think you're allowed to do that and jump the gun. Started second on the grid.
Stewards might already be busy this weekend in terms of having to just take a quick look at things as well. So yeah, they're going to have some busy weekend with the F4 Championship on, with F1 Academy as well, with 3 races. A critical FT title decided which they cannot afford to mess up, and then Formula 1 as well, where all the eyes will be, but it's our championship contenders, the top 2, first and second.
Yeah, and Victor Martins takes over in third. Paulo On goes fourth, Joshua Durst comes fifth, Rita Mayato, as Omi said, fantastic session for him in sixth, Richard Verschaw seventh, Jose Maria Martins eighth, Andrea Kimiantale ninth, Kush Miney made it back up into 10th position. Jack Crawford's 11th with Dino Boganovic in 12th, Ollie Goethes 13th, Oliver Behrman 14th, Rafael Villagomez in 15th, Christian Mansell 16th, Emil Cordial 17th, Luke Browning in 18th, John Bennett 19th, and Leonardo Forlorelli in 20th, Max Esterson's 21st, and Clan Shields in 22nd place, hitting the barrier as well. Omi, final thoughts on this session from you before qualifying later. Who do you think is going to take pole position?
Well, I of course won't be there, so I'll give, all of our predictions right now. I think we are going to see Victor Martins take pole. I think we're going to see Martins take the pole position. So yeah, cannot wait for that later on. I hope you all enjoy qualifying, and I'll see you, of course, tomorrow for the F2 sprint race.
Thanks, Omi. Take care, and take care, everybody. We'll be back in around about an hour and 15 minutes for all the action from Formula 1 and the first practice session. I've already had breakfast. It's now actually technically lunchtime. Go and have enjoy. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. And we'll see you all again in an hour and 15. Bye-bye.